Very good morning to those who are present here. Who would give me a feedback? I'm going to show you one video. Any one of you? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, I will.
This is, who's this? Ankita?
Arshin.
Arshin. Right, Betaji? So this is about your chapter. Look at this. Arshin, is it visible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we are just starting the first, yeah, I guess
Content
everyone,
as to what we will be reading in this chapter with no
yeah, I think everyone it is visible to you. So
Yes,
this,
ma'am.
yeah, I'm going to start from the very first chapter, that is resource and development chapter. So here it is written: resource classification, development planning, land resources, degradation, conservation, soils in India, different type of soils, and soil conservation. So all this we are going to start, and let's start.
further ado, let's begin. So, what is the meaning of the term resource? So, here it says everything available in our environment which can be
Now you have to learn, you have to understand this definition of a resource. Though we have done, again I repeat, this is just a revision which already we have made. So again, for your convenience, we are doing again resources which are available in our environment and it satisfy our need. Till this, that is a general definition of a resource. But from 10th class point of view, I always say you are supposed to add all these points. It is technologically accessible. The areas, the resources
used to
which we,
satisfy
the resources which we can use technically, technologically accessible, economically feasible. Economically, it is not that much expensive. We can't afford it. Economically feasible and culturally acceptable. In that particular culture, there should be acceptance of that resource. We call then anything which is technologically accessible, economically feasible, and culturally acceptable, and which satisfy our needs, known as a resource. अगर आपको definition आती है, what is a resource? You are supposed to write down this definition. That resources are those which satisfy our need and technological, accessible, economically feasible, and culturally acceptable, known as a resource.
our needs, provided it is technologically accessible, economically feasible, and culturally acceptable. That is defined as resource. Now, we know human beings heavily rely on natural resources.
So we people, all of us depend on natural resources only. You can see solar energy is there. You can see minerals are there. You can see fossil fuels are there. You can see rainwater is here. So all of us actually, so you can see movement of wind here. All of us actually depend on natural resources. We convert the natural, we means here human beings convert the natural resources for its own use, and we call it as human made resources.
It could be both for building infrastructure or feeding the population. Now, you need to understand that there is a cost associated with everything. If a resource can be easily extractable or usable, that's a good sign because it will heavily reduce the cost. So for that, we need to have good technology. That is what is technologically accessible means. Now, economically
Technologically accessible means we should have technology to use to assess the resources. Resources हमारे पास हैं, लेकिन अगर हम हमारे पास technology नहीं है to use those resources, then those resources would be useless for us.
feasible. So previously in the videos I have told you the meaning of economics is resource allocation. If the particular resource cannot be allocated efficiently amongst the people, citizen or population, then it will be difficult to distribute because then the market forces are going to act on it, like increase in prices or decrease in demand.
So very simple, economically feasible. Like right now we are talking about oxygen cylinder, है ना? Should be now ये economically नहीं है, but it's feasible. It should be feasible. It should be within the reach of everyone. Every hospitals, every patient should get. It should be feasible to them. In the same way, whatever resources are available in our country should be feasible economically. It should not be very much expensive. कि ordinary people can't afford to have it.
and that can actually make the market unstable, and no country would like to have that. So that is the meaning of economically feasible. And then comes the term culturally acceptable. It is pretty easy to understand because it means that it needs to resonate with the community. Now I'll give you a very simple example for this. So if you see in the market, we have multiple variety of single product. Do you know why is it so? Because everyone can resonate and accept it as per their own benefit. For example, if a particular community or a particular person doesn't like some product, we can always have an alternative to that. So these kind of things are very important when it
जैसे if we are talking about India, particularly beef, that's not allowed, culturally not acceptable as a resource. Other kind of flesh it is, but not beef. So culturally, why not? Because it's not acceptable as a resource in our country.
when it comes to resource. So this interdependent relationship is very important to understand. So I hope you get what I'm trying to say. Now let's read about the classification of resources. Now the resources can be classified in following ways. First is on the basis of origin. Then we
So
have
this
on the
this
basis of exhaustibility.
this you have doing since 6th, 7th standard science. You people have done on the basis of origin, biotic, no, living and non-living, exhaustibility, the resources which will come to an end or which cannot come to an end can be done two parts, renewable and non-renewable. Base of ownership, we have individual, my, community, our, national of a country, international of the world, status of development, potential, developed, stock and reserve.
And third on the basis of ownership, and last on the basis of status of development. Don't worry, we are going to go in detail about each one of them. So let's quickly go through this small diagram over here where it talks about the classification of resources. Resources are of two types, that is natural and human, man-made. And under natural we have two types again, that is renewable and non-renewable. So renewable is something that can be replenished and non-renewable is the opposite of it. Under
Replenished, non-replenishable. Sometimes renewable word is not written. Replenish and non-replenishable is written. So, Hanji बच्चे खुशी? Yes, beta.
Good morning, ma'am.
Very good morning, बच्चे.
Ma'am, when we have to write the type of resources, we will mention natural, man-made, and human resource.
Exactly.
All three of them.
Yes, all three of them. Natural,
Thank you,
man-made,
ma'am.
and human resource.
human resource, we have again two things, that is structure and institution, and quantity and quality. And under renewable, we have one that is biologically renewed. Another one is which is nature continuous, like wind, water, and solar, etc. And under the biological, we have two forms, that is wildlife and plants. Similarly, under non-renewable source, we have two things, that is recyclable and non-recyclable. So this was the classification of resources. So the first classification is on the basis of origin, that is biotic and abiotic. So what is the biotic resources? These are obtained from biospheres and have life, such as human beings, flora and fauna, fisheries, livestock, etc. The meaning of biosphere itself means where the living organisms
Biosphere means life. जिसमें भी life है, they all fall under biotic.
exist. And then coming to abiotic resources, all those things that are non-living things, they are called abiotic, like rocks and metals. So biotic means living organisms and abiotic means non-living things. And the second kind of classification is on the basis of exhaustibility, that is renewable resources and non-renewable resources. So what is renewable resources? The resource that can
नाम
be
से those students who are not clear still, नाम से clear, but are renew, able. Those resources which are able to renew, to get new again.
renewed or reproduced by physical, chemical, or mechanical process. That is called renewable or replenishable resource.
I
Some examples
repeat, I repeat, renewable and replenishable एक चीज है, भूलना नहीं है. Sometime in the final exams and the test, replenishable लिखा होता है, बच्चे get confused कि ये कौन से आ गए. Renewable और replenishable एक ही चीज है.
are solar power, wind power, water, forest, and wildlife. And further, this kind of resource can also be divided into continuous or flow. So the meaning of continuous is which does not have a stop. For example, wind energy
Wind energy is a, solar energy is a renewable. Flow, for example,
and
water.
solar energy. This will not be stopped anytime. It will be continuous. And by the meaning of flow, we mean water, forest, or wildlife. So water will come again in the river only if there is rainfall. So if there is less rainfall, there will be no water. So it is dependent on certain other
Flow.
factors. Similarly, forest and wildlife. So we cut trees for wood, and if we cut excess of trees, this would lead to deforestation. And we also know how much time it takes to grow one full tree. And that is also dependent on certain factors like climate, rainfall, and other factors. So these all comes under flow. The next one is non-renewable resources. So it is simply the opposite.
Opposite of it, non-renewable, those resources which cannot be renewed. एक बार यूज हो गए खत्म. सबसे बड़ी एग्जांपल ऑफ नो रिन्यूएबल रिसोर्सेज ऑल मिनरल्स.
Of renewable resources, which is that cannot be replenished. For example, minerals and fossil fuels. Because these kind of resources take millions of years.
कांट बी रिप्लेनिश्ड, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि एक बार अगर गोल्ड है तो कभी भी नहीं बनेगा. इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट. इट वुड टेक प्लेस बट आफ्टर मिलियंस एंड मिलियंस ऑफ इयर्स. मिलियंस ऑफ इयर्स के बाद फिर से गोल्ड बनेगा. सो no, these, that's why we call it as non-renewable.
For the existing organisms to decay and form fossils. And on top of it, it cannot be recycled. So they get exhausted pretty soon. And the third type of classification is on the basis of ownership, whether the particular resource is individually owned or community based or nationally owned or internationally owned. So what is the meaning of individual resources? So they are owned privately by individuals. For example, farmers have land which are given to them by the government, and at the end of the month or a particular year, they have to make payment. Now coming to the urban side, so we all have plots and houses and other properties. So every individual has bought that land. So they can do whatever they want to. They can build a house on it, or they can have a plantation, or they can have a pasture land, pond, water, well, whatever they can do. So any resource where an individual has the right to do whatever he or she wants to. That is called individual resources. The next is community owned resources. So by the name community, it means that it is accessible.
Those resources which are used by a community group of people, not by one particular person, but by a group of people. Particularly in the cities, in the villages, we have community resources like picnic spots are there, parks are there. So yes.
Accessible to all the members of the community. Some examples like grazing ground, burial ground, village pond, public park, picnic spots, etc. Here you will not have individual rules because it is meant for public.
Here we don't have individual rule. तो ये हमारे पब्लिक के हैं. It's not individual property. So rule will be of community.
So everyone is given similar rights. And the third one is national resources. Now, basically every resource belongs to nation. Some are equally distributed and some are not. For example, land is not equally distributed to everyone. So it is based on payment. If you pay more money, you will get larger piece of land. That is all because
Always keep this thing in your mind. All the resources are actually national resources. The houses where we live, the field, the farm, everything is actually national resources. We have taken it from the government. That's why we people pay taxes. That's why we people pay for property tax.
because the government has the legal power to acquire everything. That's why you must have seen to build roads, canals, railway lines. Sometimes private properties are demolished. Of course, they are paid a certain amount by the government. But what I'm trying to say is that to build these roads, canals, and railways for public interest, the government has the legal power to acquire private properties. Now, all the minerals, water resources, forest, wildlife, everything within the political boundaries of a particular
Within the political boundary, it means within our country. जो भी हमारी country में, forest we are talking about, minerals we are talking about, rivers we are talking about, wildlife sanctuaries we are talking about, national park we are, all they are national resources.
country, the government has the control over all of this. And that is why it is called as national resources. And the last one is international resources. So for this, we have international institutions and bodies like the United Nations and other
UNESCO.
such bodies. So one good example of international resources is the oceanic resources. For example,
The world is changing so quickly today that as a father, I have big concerns about the future. What my child is being taught today
Is it clear, बच्चे?
Yes, ma'am.
Is near to the ocean or water body can have control over 200 kilometer of ocean, that is right from the land boundary of a particular country till 200 kilometers of the ocean body, and beyond that it is called open ocean, and no individual country can utilize this, and that country will not have any kind of jurisdiction. That's why when a big ship passes by a country's border that is within the 200-kilometer limit, that particular country has the right to stop it, or check for legal matters associated with
So
it.
maybe you people have noticed कई बार ये न्यूज में such kind of news is there like जो पाकिस्तानी है या कोई American ship है, they have seen in our water body. So what does it mean? They have crossed that open ocean. Open ocean में क्रॉस करने के बाद they have reached in our water area. So international resources means we people have some limit that is till some nautical miles. उसके बाद it becomes open ocean which is a property of international resource. But अगर international resource कोई भी country उसको cover करके इसको cross करके if they have entered in our water body तो automatically वो हमारा फिर national resource बन जाता है. That's why it create problem sometimes.
But if that ship is beyond the 200-kilometer radius, nobody can stop them because they don't have any jurisdiction. They can float.
So 200 kilometer means till 200 kilometer, that area, that water area is under us. After that, it is international resource. कोई आए कोई जाए, we are not bothered.
Freely on a open ocean. And the last classification is on the basis of status of development, that is potential, developed stock and reserves. Now, what is the meaning of potential resources? It is a resource which is available in a particular region, but that has not been utilized. And one good example is the western part of India, that is Rajasthan and Gujarat. They have enormous potential for the development of wind and solar energy. But we have
Wind and solar energy, enough chances are there we can develop in this tropical area. It is high temperature is there. So wind भी हो सकते हैं, solar energy we can also develop in this region. Accessible भी है, economical भी है, technologically approachable भी है. So that's why such area potential means possibility is there. We can develop this energy if need arises.
not tapped on it. So the meaning of potential is it has more ability, but somehow it has not been used to its limit. The next one is developed resources. By the name of it, it means developed. It also means matured. Now, resources that have been surveyed and their
Mature,
quality and
matured means yeah, we are using it. हो चुके हैं हम उसको use कर रहे हैं.
quantity have been determined. For example, we know how much of coal is there in India. Similarly, we also know how much of iron ore is there in the region of Chota Nagpur Plateau. So this has been done by scientific surveys and satellites, and we have an estimation about their quality as well as the quantity. So this is all because of the technology. So with this information, we can determine how much to use it, how much not to use it, and how much to preserve it. Again, it is also helpful to determine how much to export.
So developed resource simply means we know how much is available, quantity kitni hai, what is the quality of such resource, and we are easily use it or we are using it. We are extracting the resources for our development.
And how much not to export. So this all comes under developed resources. And the next one we have is stock. So the simple meaning of stock is you have a stock of something but you don't use that. So similarly, materials
So stock is like Himalaya, like Sahara stock. We are not using it, but हमें पता है हमारे पास है.
in the environment have the potential to satisfy human needs, but human beings do not have the appropriate
But problem क्या भी right now we don't have the technology to use it.
technology to access these. One fine example for this is coal bed methane extraction. So in India, to extract coal, we have open cast mining.
Look at this. This is a mining area, huh? थोड़ा सा मैं back. I'm going. Mining minerals are extracted.
This is coal bed methane extraction. So in India, to extract
Look at this. A huge coal mine. ये सारा area is where coal that is extracted. Mining area actually. An open pit mine. Drilling. आपको याद होगा ये mining की types है. Open pit mine. Huge pit we can see here.
coal, we have open cast mining, which means you simply blow a piece of rock or a land area with the help of dynamite.
That is environmental pollution. Side by side, I'm explaining other things also.
Extract coal out of it. So this kind of
Look at the coal.
extraction is cost effective as well as easier when compared to underground mining. Underground mining can be dangerous as well as expensive. Now the whole idea behind
Underground mining is dangerous as well as expensive. For example, जब बहुत shaft mining, that is kind of that. We have to go deep under the earth. It's risky also, expensive
coal
also.
bed methane extraction is that deep down there are chunks of coal present, and to extract that, the best form is to extract it in the form of natural gas. So what they do is they simply find out the distance between the coal bed and the surface of the land. I mean how deep it is. And then they simply drill down there, and then they pour hot steamy water into the coal bed. So when hot water comes in contact with the coal bed, methane is released from the coal and flows up as a gas, and then methane is compressed and piped to market. So this all needs state of the art technology, and here the coal that is deep down inside the earth's surface is there like a stock, and to access that we need this state of the art technology. So with this example I hope you get the meaning of stock. And the third topic is development of resources. So when we say development of resources, we simply mean planning of resources, because human greed is the reason behind depletion of resources. At the
Human
speed at
greed.
which we are consuming these resources.
Yes, Sahaj.
Excuse me, ma'am.
जी
Ma'am,
बच्चे.
please explain the term stock again.
Simple word, stock means we have enough resources available, but right now we don't have a technology. We cannot go there. It is risky, it is expensive, it is out of our reach at present, and those resources are lying as it is. हमारे पास है तो है, लेकिन ना हमारे पास टेक्नोलॉजी है, ना हमारे पास पैसा है, नीदर वी कैन स्पेंड मनी ऑन दैट बिकॉज इट इज क्वाइट रिस्की. तो हम उन रिसोर्सेज को अभी नहीं छेड़ रहे हैं, ना ही हमें जरूरत है, बट हमारे पास है. जैसे मैंने क्लास में एग्जांपल दिया था, कोल एंड पेट्रोलियम इन हिमालयास वी हैव, हमारे पास पड़ा हुआ है, बट राइट नाउ वी आर नॉट यूजिंग इट क्योंकि हमारे पास टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं है कोल या पेट्रोलियम निकालने की फ्रॉम हाई हिली एरियाज ऑफ हिमालय. हमें जरूरत भी नहीं है क्योंकि अभी कोल एंड पेट्रोलियम इज अवेलेबल फ्रॉम अदर पार्ट्स लाइक मुंबई से, छोटा नागपुर प्लेटो एरिया से, तो हमें उसकी जरूरत भी नहीं है निकालने की, ना हमारे हम रिस्क में डाल सकते हैं किसी को. लेकिन जब राजस्थान में, महाराष्ट्र में, असम में सब खत्म हो जाएगा तो ऑटोमेटिकली वी हैव टू शिफ्ट टू हाई हिली एरियाज ऑफ हिमालय. देन स्टॉक विल टर्न इनटू डेवलप्ड रिसोर्स. सहज क्लियर बच्चे?
Yes, ma'am.
It's soon going to be exhausted, and after that we also have accumulation of resources and few
So first is development of resource. Why it is required? Development of resources is actually required because so many people are greedy. They misuse the resource. Second is resources are concentrated in certain hands. It's not equally distributed everywhere. So because it is concentrated in certain hands, whole of the society is divided into two parts, rich and poor.
hands. Only the rich and few people have access to certain resources. For example, in India, how the Reliance industry controls the electricity as well as the oil part of the natural resource. Similarly, we have the Tata Steel.
Third point we can say indiscriminate exploitation of resources. So resources जो है we know very well all are not renewable, some are non-renewable also. So that's why we have to preserve the resources. So that's why it is required.
And few other competitors who control the iron part of it. So if you have few people controlling the large chunk of resources, then the society is divided into two segments, that is rich and poor. And then not to mention global warming, ozone layer depletion, environmental pollution, all are caused because of unthoughtful utilization of resources. So this all problem calls for a proper planning of resources. And with that,
So because of that, itany problem we are having. Poverty is there, rich people are extremely rich, depletion of resources there, unequal distribution of resources there. So for that, planning is required. सबको बराबर मिले, planning is required.
it brings us to a new topic called resource planning in India. So resource planning is a complex process. For that we need to identify where the resources are located in the country. Then we need to do some surveys and mapping for the qualitative and quantitative estimation. So the Geological Survey of India does this work. So with the help of satellite and other forms of technology.
So Geological Survey of India इनका काम क्या है? To find out, that is identification of resources. Geology means earth. Survey करना, that is identification of resources on the earth.
It prepares an estimation as to how much of certain mineral or resource is available. For example, what is the quantity of coal left in our country, or what grade of coal do we have? Because you see, these all are important because these all determines the cost of that resources in the international market. And then we need to have proper
Long hair dreams?
जी बच्चे, any doubt till this? Any doubt till this, beta ji? No doubt to none of you. All of you very much clear. All of you clear? You can say yes or you can say no, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
ma'am.
Okay, ji. So let's start. वैसे तो we have less time. How much time is left? 5 minutes? Less than 5.
Yes, ma'am.
Less than 5?
5 minutes.
Ma'am, 5 minutes.
Ma'am, exactly
300
4 minutes
seconds.
because it is 10:41.
Okay, so कर लेते हैं थोड़ा सा, है ना? I guess हो जाएगा हमारा तब तक. So we should waste not
240
waste.
seconds.
We'll do it. Don't worry.
conservation of resources. So overutilization of resources will lead to socio-economic and environmental problems. So to overcome these problems, just like resource planning is important, we also need to do resource conservation.
Resource conservation, to conserve, to judicious use, optimum use, conservation.
And the next topic is land resources. So land is the most important natural resource.
Because all other resources are available on land. Whatever we can do, only and only land. That's why
Because it
important.
supports natural vegetation, wildlife, human life, economic activities like transport, communication systems, etc. So we also need a careful
Yes, Khushi?
Ma'am, please explain the 3 stages of development of resources in India once again.
Resources. What?
Ma'am, 3 stages of resource planning in India.
Okay. Identification and inventory of resources. Under this, surveying, mapping, qualitative and quantitative estimation of resource. Second stage is technology, skill, measurement of resources, institutional setup of resources. Third, planning with the national planning. Local planning with the national planning. Khushi, clear, bache?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
planning in terms of the usage of land. So India has a variety of relief features like mountains.
So this is generally asked how much area is under plain, that is 43%. Once it was in a board exam also. So 30% land is under mountainous area, 27% is land is under plateau area. So all the resources, mountainous area, plain area, plateau area, they all have their own importance, value.
Plateaus, plains, and islands. And all of this plays an important role in some way or the other. For example, it is because of the mountains that we have perennial rivers that flow continuously and forms some rivers. And because of the flow of these rivers, the plain lands of India has rich fertile soil for agriculture. And because of islands, we have huge coral depositions, and that attracts a lot of water species and fisheries. And then the plateau regions are rich in reserves like minerals, fossils.